Hi and welcome back to Main Street Prowlers. I am your host as always, Chris Baker. The guys made it through in one piece in this second week of games. We played 2 games this weekend, both on the road, as it made for a very demanding weekend. We played back-to-back games in 2 different states. The first game saw the matchup of the FHL's last 2 playoff champions between the Prowlers and the Watertown Wolves, played in Watertown, New York. And the Prowlers made a quick and easy stop as the Prowlers came out on top 4-0 in front of 851 Wolves fans. Nemanja scored the first goals of the game late in the first and early in the second. Assists coming from the returning Bennett, also from Robertson and Mafuz. Lewis would then score 50 seconds later after the second goal to bring us up 3-0, assisted by Tattern and Ozelins. Tattern would then score the 4th goal almost halfway through the second, with assists again by Robertson and Mafuz. All in all, this game was a very one-sided game that favored the Prowlers as St. Pierre stopped all 43 shots the Wolves sent our way. With it being a very physical game and there being 3 fights in the game, the Prowlers showed they deserved the title last year. The 3 stars of the game were Mafuz 3rd, Nemanja 2nd, and St. Pierre got the 1st star. The second game of the weekend was against the River Drivers of Berlin, New Hampshire. If anyone remembers the first game played against them last season, it was pretty much like that, but everything was in the actual game and not the warm-ups and national anthem. Let's talk about the scoring first. Berlin would open the scoring with 2 goals in the first. Port Huron would then strike back. Harris would score a minute and a half into the first, assisted by Parkas and Tattern, followed 20 seconds later by a goal by Mafuz, assisted by Bennett and Whitmire. 6 minutes later, we would take a 3-2 lead with Parkhouse scored, assisted by Harris and Nemanja. Unfortunately, that would not hold to the oncoming 2 goals by the River Drivers in the second and third. We did great though in the physical department with 3 fight wins by Ozelins, Mafuz, and Kenny. I do have to applaud Kenny for backing up our goalie after he got hit for the first time with no call. After our first 4 games, we have accumulated a 2-2 record with 5 points. The point system is a little bit weird, so let's break it down now. It's 3 points for a regulation win, otherwise known as a win outside of the overtime period. 2 points for an overtime win, 1 point for an overtime loss. So technically our record would be a 1-2 and 1-0. The first column being wins, the second being losses, the third being an overtime win, and the fourth being overtime losses. So with that explanation, the current standings are: first, Danville Dashers with a record of 2-1-1-1, 9 points. Second, the St. Clair Shores Fighting Saints, 2-0-0-1 with 7 points. Third, the Berlin River Drivers, 2-2-0-1 with 7 points. And fourth, the Watertown Wolves, 2-2-0-0 with 6 points. And fifth, the Danbury Titans, 1-3-1-1 with 6 points. And sixth, the Port Huron Prowlers with a record of 1-2-1-0 with 5 points. And in seventh, the Cornwall Nationals, 1-2-1-0 with 5 points. Even with the low standing point, we are in good standings to finish the season strong. Now for this week's Main Street Prowlers 3 stars of the week. The 3rd star is Christos Nemanja with 2 goals and 1 assist. The 2nd star is Jocelyn St. Pierre with a record of 1-1, and he also got 1 shutout. The 1st star of the week is Ahmed Mafuz with 1 goal and 2 assists. Our next games come on November 12th when we play host to the Danville Dashers with a start time of 7:30 p.m. Then we travel to St. Clair Shores to take on the Fighting Saints with a start time of 5 p.m. on November 13th. That's it for this week's episode. Until next time, stay sharp, Prowlers Nation.